Hi, friends. Travel today is faster than ever. Distance feels shorter and the world feels more connected. Yet, somewhere along the way, travel has become smaller in meaning. Many people return with photographs, but very few return transformed. So, today we ask a deeper question. Can travel change the way we see life itself? Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Manish Jain, a passionate traveler you all know, and we welcome you all to another fresh session of Explore with Doctor podcast. Joining me today, answering all the questions which we have raised and many more, is Dr. Hiren Shah from Ahmedabad. He's a renowned senior pediatrician, passionate global traveler, and one of India's most fascinating storytellers of life beyond medicine. With over 40 years in maternal and child healthcare and journeys across 60 plus countries, he brings together the precision of a doctor, a pediatrician, the eye of an artist, and the soul of an explorer. From travel photography and rare puzzles to heritage preservation and his iconic Hauseum. It's very interesting. Iconic Hauseum, an amazing collection of locks he hosts. His life is a beautiful reminder that curiosity keeps us forever young. So, Dr. Hiren, it's a pleasure to have you with us. We are privileged to host you, and we start straight away to understand and listen to your journey. So, tell me one thing, before passports and flights, what first awakened your fascination with the world beyond your own life?
Mm, I often feel that my fascination for travel began quite silently during my childhood through my hobby of philately.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes,
Oh,
those
wonderful. I can imagine.
stamps of
Yeah.
more than 100 countries, they're like my windows to the world. Those people, places, animals, landscapes, and the stories behind them. They as if uh, planted the first seeds of curiosity in me. And literally, this particular stamps, probably they were, I mean, my future travel bug in me probably was conceived at that time, right before I started packing my suitcases.
Oh, wonderful. So I remember during our days, the small stamp collection or the philately was a wonderful hobby. Actually, it was a hobby, and we all used to, in some or other form, we all used to have. So, and like for any passion, there is always a seed somewhere planted, which you probably don't remember today, or you remember today, but that is the original point from where you, for example, for me, my fascination for travel was a small notebook given by my father, which contained most of the countries of the world with their capitals at a very young
Interesting.
age. So that, learning those capitals, was the seed for me. So I think yes, that is the beginning. And what a wonderful way! What a wonderful beginning. So looking back, when did travel stop being about discovering places and start becoming a way of discovering yourself? I mean, it's a very philosophical question, but I would like to know your thoughts on this.
For that, let me take you back to 1984 when I came to Ahmedabad to establish as a pediatrician. I was new to this place. And then my initial years were, I mean, around establishing and getting, my
Practice.
practice
Correct.
short.
Like
And it
like
was in
everybody.
1990s, probably, I started attending medical conferences. And during those conferences, initially I started extending my trips to the nearby uh,
Correct.
places, say like during Asian Congress of Delhi, I just visited Himalayas for the first time, then Masuri or Agra, nearby places, or during Jaipur conference, I extended trip with my children to the Shekhawat in Bharatpur or Ranthambore uh, sanctuaries.
Right.
So I just realized that these are the trips not just for break, but they used to recharge me. And then those 5 years when we are building a house, it was a very different theme. This was to become future houseum. But at that time, we were searching and hunting for the old structure elements and collectibles. And for that, we used to travel to first here in Gujarat, big cities and interiors, then nearby states, and even up to we went to Karaikuri and Kochi also. So again, that was
Oh,
the kind
okay.
of the travel we had a very different way. And of course, in year 2000, first time we went to USA, and since then, my different activities and hobbies gave me opportunity to travel to different destinations across the world. Say like first Lock Convention meeting in Germany in 2003, or then Puzzle
Is
Conference.
it a lock
That
convention?
was
You
lock
said lock.
European lock collectors meet. That was only happening third
Wonderful.
time, but I was invited. And I was the first ever non-white person, first India, of course. But then, and then same happened
Right.
in the puzzle convention. We call it IPP, International Puzzle Party, which happened at Gold Coast in Australia. So, and then I started attending all these conventions at different venues across the world. So these also gave me opportunity to travel. And then I realized that it's a really, I mean, kind of a for me, it was a kind of a recharging, taking those kind of
Yes.
breaks used to make me more kind of, seeing the world through the different lenses, literate about the many different things. They also help me to enhance my hobbies also. So likewise, my this travel continue gradually different world open to me. So that's how the my travel continue.
Wonderful. And also, I think it helped in satisfying your curiosity,
Absolutely.
fulfilling whatever innate curiosity you had. So I think it helped. It must have
Exactly.
helped in
As
that
you
way.
travel little more, you feel like going more and more. Gradually became a
Yes.
way of my life
Yes.
only. I could balance both
Yes.
travel. Rather, we used to take almost 6 to 8 weeks, very plan and design kind of uh, holidays or vacation, hour of time from a practice to see the world. My wife almost all the time used to be with us, with me. Even our children also, whenever during the
Yes.
especially formative years, they were with us. Then I also started traveling for photography tours and different purposes. But then some or other way, I was satisfying or other
Yes.
finding the opportunity to travel.
So you have traveled in like probably by this time you must have traveled in all possible ways: slow travel, fast travel, family travel, couple travel, solo travel, specialized travel, and whatnot. So it all, I think, it begins with a travel mindset. I mean, what mindset you have, how you approach the travel, because the best journeys are often shaped by the way we arrive, not just where we arrive, actually. So, my question to you is, what does it take to truly enter a place emotionally instead of just passing through it physically? Again, a philosophical question, but like with a seasoned traveler like you, I believe I can have the liberty of asking the
Yeah,
philosophical
yeah.
questions.
And
What does it take to truly enter a place emotionally instead of just passing through it physically?
see, it's, I mean, I always call it, I mean, you can say, initially I was a very kind of a aggressive, hyper in just ticking the boxes of all the
Right,
destinations and
right,
then
right.
attractions. But over the time, I realized is more important is the quality or the quantity. And then rather than counting those places, I started, I mean, getting soaked in the particular place,
Right.
slow down.
Yes.
Places also used to humble me down, then talk to the people, say like cab driver or even a bar
Correct, correct.
attendant, and then learn about them, learn about the places. So gradually, that kind of my approach gradually changed. I become a bit slow. I become a little humble. I become my curiosity always was there, but rather than counting those, you can say and maps, I was more interested in those moments and meanings. So that's how I think I have evolved a lot over last 30 years since I started serious traveling.
Yes. So, like happens with everybody, you start as a tourist, you graduate to become a traveler, and then you postgraduate to become an explorer.
Absolutely.
I think the
Yeah,
same
same.
thing happens with
And
you.
then I always say
Yes.
I'm not just traveler, I'm an explorer because I'm always
Yes.
searching for the stories now these days. So that's how I mean, it's a
Correct.
metamorphosis happens on most of the
Yes.
travelers. And that's true for me also.
Correct, correct. And once you reach the traveler stage or the explorer stage, then probably there is a completely new meaning for of the travel for you. So basically, my next question is exactly related to this. When you reach a new destination, what tells you that you are beginning to understand its soul?
Okay. So, I mean, see, basically, when we plan any tour or trip, we have already, I mean, designed our
Lot
itinerary.
of,
We know
yes,
where we are heading for,
virtually,
what we are supposed to
yes,
look for. But then most of the things happen after going there now these days. Basically, um, initial those touristy attractions and then standard visits to those places, I mean, has taken over. Say, for example, in Seoul, in South Korea, where our manager
yes,
told that, sir, we were planning for some dinner at some kind of a hotel. So he said, instead, sir, go to this play drama, which is very famous in Korea, and it's running a longest ever show. So we went to
yes,
watch that drama in Miso in Seoul. Language of Korean, we hardly understood any word, but then the subject was very well conveyed. So we realized that language is not a barrier that way. So these are the
yes,
way we just change and try to get feel of the place. Say, for example, if we, I'll try to say, just now we are in Bogota, and then what we are, I mean, decided that we'll be doing something very unusual. We'll have a whole day graffiti tour. We'll just search for the graffiti
yes,
in
yes.
the
Bogota is
city
wonderful.
of Bogota,
Haven't heard.
and rather than any other
Absolutely.
things, other places. Of course, we saw two famous museums also, but then we just, I mean, learned about their culture, tradition, their struggle, their kind of a independence movement, and then newer kind of people, Gen Z, how they are looking at that. So
Yes.
all this we come to know through this kind of activities. Yes,
Yes, yes, perfect, perfect. So just for our viewers, the Bogota is the graffiti capital of the world. I
absolutely.
was there just 6 months back, and like amazing. The whole city is like swarming with various graffitis, and those graffitis are actually expression of the common
Yeah,
man. They are actually the wonderful medium of expressing the common man's feelings. And the Colombia has gone through so much in the past that it becomes very important. This is an outlet for
correct.
that country and the people of that
Yeah.
country. Okay, so I again bring that slow travel question. How much of a, in your experience, how much of a meaningful travel is about slowing down enough to notice what others miss? Or what a common tourist miss, and what helps slowing down? I mean, can we elaborate more on the slow travel, which is the latest trend actually? So, something in your experience, how the slow travel has helped you?
Yes. So I call it, even I use word meaningful travel also these days.
Yes,
And
yes,
then, of course, meaning of meaningful is different for different people. As I said, I
yes,
believe in now these days, quality over quantity. I just
yes.
don't say that I should have this many days or have this many places or cities I should visit. I should not count on the countries, because how can you just translate somebody's passion by the numbers? Say,
Number of countries. Very true.
so
Very
it's
true.
a, I mean, somebody say I have traveled to this many countries, but I
Yeah,
always
yeah,
give an
agree.
example. Say, for example, I have spent some 200 days in USA, and then USA
Yes,
is as big as Europe, 44 countries in
agree,
Europe.
agree.
And in those 200 days,
100%.
I can might as well travel to 10 countries of Europe.
Yes,
Another
yes.
way is that I spend a fortnight in UK, and instead, if somebody takes a Baltic cruise, they can cover in 2 weeks. They can cover 8 to 12 countries
Yes,
of I mean, North Europe. Likewise, cannot, I mean, compare these numbers, or numbers don't translate your passion. But then you should have that kind of mindset to, I mean, go and get sinking, I mean, sink in that particular place, culture, history. And that way, I think it makes it more meaningful.
absolutely. So this is another very question close to my heart, but I would like to have your perspective on this, because both of us have sailed in the similar boat. Being a doctor, rather to be more specific, related to child health,
Absolutely.
and then become a passionate traveler and all that. So, as a doctor, your life is built on observation, empathy, and understanding people deeply. How do these qualities influence the way you experience a journey, or the way you do your journey and travel?
See, as you said rightly, both doctors, we are committed to the medical profession round the clock, all 24 hours, because ours is a
Yes,
branch of
yes,
emergency,
yes,
anytime we call. But
Yes.
then the time we and my wife Namita, we both, she was again a gynecologist, so we both take out time to pursue our this interest, any other interest. But then travel is the main component of that, and it
Correct.
we are away
Correct.
from our workplace, so we have to specifically carve out time, and then this particular time is not served, is not complimentary, it's not served on the platter, and we have to
Yes.
extract it very deliberately and consciously. So
Yes.
that is, I mean, our 25th hour theme comes in that particular, the terminology is a very symbolic. It's not possible. So we have to adjust our time or steal our time through a daily schedule. At some or other point, we have to sacrifice it at personal level, social commitments. Even
Yeah.
there will be the one has to curtail, like you and me both are doing, curtailing our professional aspirations. And that it
Oh,
may
yes.
hit
Absolutely.
very in a hard way or finances, because travel is outflow, and when you're away, inflow is affected. So I call it time audit along with the financial audit. So it's we have to time audit
Yes.
this and then take out time, and then so for doctor again it's not very easy. But as I have said that as we're, I mean, followed by our by heart and not just other materialistic things, we
Yes.
followed
Yes.
this passion and following for last 30 years.
So I would put it that way that curtailing, I mean, it can be, I mean, instead of curtailing, I think what we are doing, balancing the professional
Yeah.
and other life, actually.
Yeah,
So
but
that's
then
a
see, I
wonderful.
cannot be at two places. I always tell others. So if my patient needs me, I'll just create all the opportunities and all facilities I'll be putting there
Absolutely.
to see that
Absolutely.
my patient doesn't suffer. But this mindset of any patient or Indian patient, basically they want their own doctor, their familiar face. They want us to put hands on the shoulders or check with a stethoscope. And it's not possible
Yes.
physically when we are away. So that is a
We are
way
away.
where
Absolutely.
our practice definitely suffers. But then one has to, I mean, it depends on the priorities, what we set in the life. And I always say, you live only once, so follow your heart also. It's, I mean, we have done enough
Yes.
for the society. We are doing that. We are not doing injustice or making them suffer. But then let
Yes.
others
Yes.
now read the, I mean, kind of
Correct.
work what we are
Correct.
doing.
Correct. Correct. So, like I'm asking the other aspect of the coin, do you feel that being a medical professional has made you a more thoughtful traveler? Someone who notices human stories, resilience, and emotions beyond the obvious sights.
Absolutely. See, as a medical doctor, we are
Yes.
trained to, I mean, think in a very kind of a strategic or clinical way. So when you and me are running our, say, setups in hospitals, we are doing multiple
Correct.
roads. Likewise, travel also is a kind of a really science. We, of course, uh,
Yes. Both science and
both
art, I
science is
believe.
when we plan and go and manage our this
Yeah. And it's a science.
those gifted 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 weeks whatever there, you have to maximize that time,
Yes.
and then for that you have to have literally scientific bent of mind.
Yeah.
Once
I
you,
agree.
I mean, that, I mean, like what we have done and thesis kind of every day. I tell every time I said when I plan any trip, there is a lot of homework, lot of planning, correspondence, and many things. But then our this particular compassionate, empathetic view also helps to make more friendly kind of approaches to people there. And then I'm the one who propagate this responsible tourism to see that people there also should benefit from our visit. We should not just try to, I mean, squeeze them or take out benefit out of their probably some or other limitations or compulsions. So that way also they make us, I mean, as a medical doctor, maybe many others must be doing. But then, yes, that's my approach to the any kind of trial when I go there. And then it again depends, changes from person to person about the perception of the places and people there. But then I love to interact with the people there. I love to sit in the some place there. Now over the time, for example, I'll be happy rather than going for some another ruins in Athens. I'll be more happy sitting on the street cafe in the afternoon, very lazily eating my whatever high tea or taking high tea and listening to music in surrounding or like that. So just, I mean, that's how we now do, and then probably that's a way to look people from near and then get chance to interact with them also.
Yes, yes, yes. So like every traveler in their life have some moments that stay with them forever. But some travel moments don't just stay in memory, they stay in your identity. Rather, sometimes they help in shaping your identity. So tell us one particular moment on the road, on the train, on the flight, on your journey that still lives within you today, which you will never forget in life.
Oh,
Some personal experience or personal memory.
yeah, there are many. As I mean,
I know, I'm sure. With your
to
portfolio,
pick
there will be
out
many.
something.
Correct.
This is one. I mean, incident. Still, I mean, it is having not a very happy end in that.
Okay.
But then,
Okay.
some 20 years back, Namita and I were in Cologne, marveling at the cathedral, speaking Gujarati. A nearby young couple just married. They happened to approach us and ask, "Are you from where?" In Gujarati, they asked. I said, "We are from Ahmedabad." And what are your plans?
Okay.
I said, "Tomorrow morning we are reaching to Burley." So they, "Oh, we are
Okay.
from Berlin only, and we are also going by this next 1 hour train. You come and be with
Okay.
us." We just thought, and I like that. And then we discussed about what we can do in Berlin, and we are about to book, almost have booked a youth hostel there. So then next day morning, they were at the our railway station. Picked up us very warmly, took us to their home. Home, I mean, you can. It was just a one room studio. But then they
Okay.
very kind
Okay.
of warmly they fed us Gujarati food, and we stayed overnight
Okay.
there. Now thing happened that we could not thank them enough or acknowledge that this noble gesture, so loving gesture till now, for the very reason the
Oh,
address that they had given, that there are no mobile phones, and then the address they had given was in my wallet, about email and then
okay.
address and their names also. And then when we reached Vienna on the railway station, my wallet was stolen. Now all these
Oh,
20
oh,
years, they
oh.
must be thinking that how I mean,
Right.
I mean, these thankless people whom they have entertained or so, I mean, lovingly brought to their home. So these are, I mean, but then yeah, these are certain
I know.
moments that still linger in our minds. Yeah, but there are many, many such
Okay.
kind of
And now
incidents. Yeah.
asking the similar, was there ever a human connection during your travels that quietly changed your understanding of people or humanity? Or you are still in touch with that human connection after many, many
Yes,
years?
many of them. Say, for example, I'll give you an example at my railway station at Bratislava. We are waiting for the train, and then I just was
Slovakia.
having a conversation with somebody who happened to be a engine driver who was to take train from Bratislava to Budapest. And then he
Okay.
offered me, looking at my interest while I was clicking pictures. So why don't you come and, I mean, in my engine, you can take better pictures than that.
Oh,
This is something very
wonderful.
unique opportunity. I
Very
went
unique.
there. I was with him for the next 1 hour, talking with him.
Oh, wow.
He was not having good English command. He was writing. I was writing, and then at one point say now you'll get down because they'll be checking ahead. It looks like that, and you'll go back to your compartment. Then I asked a very simple question. If it's like that, it's not allowed with civilians, then why you, I mean, took me there in the engine? He said
Correct.
very kind of, I mean, that touched my heart. He said, see, I learned that you are a medical doctor and pediatrician while we are talking. My daughter is a pediatrician too. At present,
Oh,
she's
wow.
serving in the interiors of Rwanda in Africa to the poor people.
Oh,
And I just had her image and I thought I should do something for you. And then,
so,
I mean, and then he had given me address. We still exchange
so
sometimes.
thoughtful. So
He
thoughtful.
writes in Slovak language and I write in English something. So likewise, there are many, many
Oh,
of these kind of chance visitors,
yes.
people whom we came across. And then, I mean, that really shows humanity still, I mean, flourishes, not exists, but flourishes.
Yes, yes, yes. Wonderful, wonderful. So coming to your another passion or interest, that is the photography. So I know that you had some solo exhibitions, and photography has always been like your. And of course, we all know that many travelers are photograph. Almost all travelers are photographers, but very few travelers are actually good photographers. So you are one of them. So when you frame a photograph during your travel or otherwise, are you capturing a place or the feeling that place has given you? I mean, like, again, a little philosophical question. So how do you frame? Basically, I want to know what factors you consider while framing a photograph.
So That has also evolved over the years. Initially, I was concentrating on
Correct.
architecture
Agree.
photography, then took lessons in wildlife photography while going to Africa. And then gradually, I realized I am a person who love emotions, human emotions. And I gradually concentrate on the streets or wherever we go and capture these kind of their stories. So whenever I am taking picture, it's now become intuitive, you can say, or a reflex action. Sometimes
Yes.
somebody feels that why Hiren is taking picture, but nothing is seen there. But at that time,
Yes.
before clicking, there is a story that has been registered in my mind that this is a picture with a worth story. Something I find in that, or its frame is so kind of a magical. So I take pictures like this. So I mean, now I'm searching for stories only rather than taking pictures which are, I mean, just for the sake of good picture, interesting picture, or like beautiful, not just for beauty, but then for its story. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So similarly, coming to, I mean, because we know that I said in my introduction also that you have been a wonderful art collector in its own form. Your house has a museum itself. You call that as houseum so correctly, so aptly actually. You have spoken at some good museum meetings or museum conferences also. So, and we all know that for any traveler and explorer, museums constitute a very, very important medium to understand the storytelling and to become a storyteller. So, for you, how do museums, local stories, and such cultural spaces help move a traveler from simple admiration to true understanding of the culture?
You put it very rightly. See, right from beginning,
Yes,
we are visiting museums and must have visited by now more than 500 years. Just stop the count
I'm
also.
sure. Yes,
But then
yes,
for us, museums are ready reckoner of the place. They tell in a very compact and very precisely about the place. So we can even we'll try to make our first visit to museum if it's the national museum or kind of a whatever,
yes.
which will tell about the culture, traditions, people, clothes, tribes, or different things. So that helps us
So
to
many things.
understand about the place more. That help us to create our itinerary where to give place more for the sightseeing or a place to visit or any cultural show to attend. We get a lot of information from museums. So museum, I mean, my visit is must there for any museum or any place there. And then, as you said, as a maker of houseum, now a little more vested interest also. I love to see what is the architecture there, how things are
Yes,
displayed, objects are displayed, what's the kind of lighting, whether they have applied any new technology for the better storytelling or the immersive experiences. Likewise, I mean, these are the way we look at the museum, and the museums really, I think, still high in the priority of any place we visit. Yes.
correct, 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 correct. Wonderful. So I think reflection or reflections are very important component of the travel. Mostly once you complete. Sometimes you come, I mean, immediately after your completion. Sometimes long after your completion of that travel. And honestly, through reflections, any particular travel never gets completed. You keep on reliving those memories or those experiences through the reflection. So, specifically, want to ask you which journey changed the way you live your life? Which one particular journey actually changed the way of your thinking, your living the life, and what did it leave behind in you? So, in other words, what is the which has been the most memorable and transforming journey for you out of so many journeys? I'm sure.
Not easy question
Yeah, but
to
you have to pick one.
answer, not easy because all these destinations are some or other way help us to
Yes,
shape
yes.
us in a better way or what we are today. Yeah, so I mean, but I always believe that my traveling, for example, children, those are the, I mean, especially during the formative years, and so they help, I mean, to bond us more because at our hometown we hardly used to get so
Oh,
say
I bet.
quality time, and there we could give undivided time. So now when they are especially away to their particular other country, settling there, working there. So whenever we meet, the best of the things, maximum laughter erupts when they tell our
Hmm.
the anecdotes of our travel, some funny aspects. They may enact our funny conversations and all whatnot. So these are the, I mean, particular journeys. They are there, and then yes, I mean, if you ask me to remember or which change us, I think it's a very slow process.
Most memorable.
Huh?
Most memorable.
Most
Most
memorable.
memorable.
Yes, so that's again, I can say of late, if I say, for example, just now we have been to Galapagos, Ecuador, but then these are the kind
Yes.
of a way we struggled hard and then overcome the
I know, and
obstacles. And there, Dr.
I
Manish
was
Jain
part
is
of
the
that.
instrumental that I can tell today so proudly and smilingly that we could go to Galapagos because of your, I mean, help to connect us with the travel agent there in Ecuador. So like, these are the, I mean, whenever we get this kind of challenges, we overcome and they become more memorable or more kind of sought after. So
Yes,
again,
I know.
say for example, certain memory. Just now, this last week only I could write on two special days. Say for example, World Pencil Day. It's a very unique one.
Yes,
And
recently.
second was National
Yes.
Maritime Day. And then say I could write on the national this pencil day with a reference of a only pencil museum in the world, and that happened because of a
Yes.
detour because we are traveling in from Belfast to Lake District, and then suddenly we took a detour looking at some hoarding of signage of this Stonehenge, and then there started thunderous rains. We could not realize that we can't travel to the destination Wintermere, which was 100 kilometers further. So we compelled to leave or rather stay overnight at Keswick, and there a landlady of that B&B told that there are two interesting museums here. So one of them was a pencil museum. Likewise, so
Right,
this, I
right.
mean, we realize that these are the certain kind of serendipitous movements where we get, because of this particular uh, places, people, we get chance to see these kind of memorable things. Same happened where we went to San Diego, where my two children accompanied us for a international puzzle party. From our room, we
Right.
could see one big kind of a sailing ship. In the morning, when we our group visited there, it was a maritime museum, and that ship was very proudly showing Star of India. And I'm being only in the
Oh,
particular group, only Indian in that particular group of 200. Everybody started showing me, and it was a matter of real pride, a hidden Star of India, like that. And then
uh,
it was very interesting story behind that. But then I just quoted that story for the Star of India in this particular. So these are a few things just happened in last week only. So these are the certain things that linger with us. Memories get more etched.
always,
I
always.
mean, that way I have more than 100 albums there on the shelves and cabinets, thousands and millions of pixels of images in the computer and screen. But then whenever you open those, these are, I mean, blissful and give heavenly feeling. So visiting all these tours and trips and past travels, I think they are, I mean, in one or other way, become quite memorable.
Yes, correct, correct, correct. So, friends, we all know that travel can entertain you. It is a wonderful way of recreation, but I believe the best travel actually transforms
Yeah.
you. So, as a seasoned traveler, as a passionate traveler, as a frequent traveler, as a traveler who has seen the world, who has been there, done that, I would like to ask you some advice for the travelers who may not have traveled that much like you or who are still evolving. So, what inner mindset should someone carry if they want travel to become a life shaping experience? Because we all know a lot of marketing forces, a lot of market forces are there, and a lot of storytellers in different ways, with the influencers and all that. So, what inner mindset should someone carry if they want travel to become a really life shaping experience, like it has happened with both of us and many
Yes.
others?
Most of I can't resist to give advice to the most of my friends and family members in surrounding. I always tell them,
Correct.
don't wait for the right time.
Yes,
Don't
yes.
wait
So
for right
important.
time or retirement age for we professionals and doctors. It's always the right time. Start as soon as you have that, I mean, kind of inkling to go out.
Yes.
Second, just rush for the things. Don't get trapped in the touristy kind of this advertisements and like this. But then you go by your likings and you decide your, I mean, way to look at the or experience the place. Go
Correct.
slow. Don't rush for the things. And then basically, I mean, these are the things. And search for the human connections, stories there. not just,
Very true.
buildings and kind of objects there. So you'll find many things. All this can be available on the click of your mobiles or the screen. And then all this will be available like a sightseeing. You can have videos running. But then your connections with the people there, your unique stories generated will be your own, very personal, very unique in the world. So try to find out those things and go as a, with open mind. And then every tour or trip or travel is a learning lesson for everybody.
Correct. And I think with the internet, with the so much of technological advancements, there has been a true democratization of the travel. I mean, anybody can travel, everybody can travel anywhere at the click of the button. Of course, now with AI and other things, everything is helping you to travel more and more. So don't wait for the right time. Just whenever things come to you, of course, financial factors are involved, but they are not as complex as you think. There are so many ways to travel cheap, to travel less expensive, to stay in hostels. And some of the, we all know some of the European hostels, or some of the, even now in India, the hostels are even sometimes better than hotels, because
So true.
you socialize with the true travelers. I mean, whatever my limited experience with hostels and backpacking travel is there, I've always found that the people who stay in hostel, in good hostels, they are the some of the true travelers. So you get that human connection more strong and more easy in those.
Absolutely. The youth hostel at, say, Giant's Causeway in Ireland, one of the unique,
Correct.
magical.
I yes, I remember I
So,
saw that.
kind of,
Yes,
these are the hostels in Scotland or in certain European countries like
yes, yes,
Austria and other. I mean,
yes,
and you get, as you said, you get such a vast experience and so much, so inputs. For example, in Ireland, Conway, when we had to take a highway to reach to Bristol, somebody who was a teacher, he was sitting with us on the coffee over dinner, and he suggested, looking at your interest, why don't you take another, route which was like our Leh Ladakh, and it will take some 1 or 2
right.
hours more, but then go through those mountains. And it was a kind of a, very unique experience to travel through the clouds on that particular mountains roads. And then I forgot that particular range, but then, so likewise.
Yes,
And then, say, for example, I still remember, I just back of mind, I was wondering which country which place I had still more kind of liking and interest. So, say, example, Borneo, for example, we were there, and still I cannot forget those morning safaris, and as if feel that suddenly Tarzan will jump from one tree to another, looking at those orangutans there, or even Japan, for example, the country
yes, yes,
where it's a world
absolutely.
apart there, and such a beautiful, colorful contrast from the slow, tranquil people going to the lightning fast trains, and then kimono-clad women to the suited with their business. So, these are the places they will give you more kind of impact, lasting memories, and then, so all these places you try to be in the process where you'll be close to the nature or close to the happenings, rather than searching for these high five-star hotels and best breakfast. Again, about the food also, try to sample the local food there.
Yes,
So, like
yes.
this, these are the many things we can suggest to the new upcoming travelers. Yeah.
And I believe, even for example, food, because this is the common question, vegetarian food, and these questions commonly come, and they are truly important questions, I say. But with the changing times, how much easy it has become to find, to carry your food, to sample the local testing, whatever way you want. So it is never be, it is no more a relevant question to find a vegetarian food. There are so many
Absolutely.
ways to find it, as we have found pure non-Indian vegetarian restaurant as far as Bagan in Burma, to Barcelona in Spain, and to maybe Nikko in Japan. So it is, now there are apps and
As you
everything.
come up with this name of Bagan in Myanmar, that in the evening we went to one Mr. Mishra's place, who served us Indian food in the
In
in
Bagan.
Bagan, Myanmar.
Oh,
And that
wow.
was long back in the 2018. For later on, that
Same.
become
I think 2018, we also went in
absolutely.
2018. So we
So,
must have
and
crossed
I
paths.
still remember Mishra, and he was so happy to receive us. We are four
Yes.
photographers from India, and one girl was from Singapore. As you said, so food is not an issue. Of course, me and my wife are
Right.
on a different palette, and then she is very choosy and she always want, Indian or not Indian, but the vegetarian food. And she won't like something cooked on the same kind of a vessel where they may
Yeah,
common
yeah,
kitchen.
yeah.
And I'm a bit adventurous, so I won't mind. But then initially, us were carrying a special kind of a small cookers where we prepare khichdi or something, a homemade kind of things which are available from the supermarkets there. And now, as you said, we don't carry, we don't bother, we get everywhere. Even in
Yes,
Japan, we get.
exactly.
And if you say we are vegan, you'll get tofu and everything.
Oh,
Everything
yes,
will get there.
yes,
So
yes. Only thing is you might have to do some efforts. You might have to do
and
some
then,
research. That's
absolutely,
all.
research is the most important homework one has to do,
Yeah.
and that's the vital part of a good and not good travel experience.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I think we can talk a lot more. So maybe we'll have another session. So many things because every traveler has so many stories to tell. Sometimes even he does not know that he has that story unless somebody asks and take that out from him with the experiences. So I think to wrap up, my last question to you: what is one bucket list place? Because bucket list and travel, these two words are very commonly used with each other. So, what is one place where you still want to go? You have not been, you have heard, you have a fascination, you have a dream, and it's in your bucket list.
Oh, my bucket list is big.
I know, I know. Top three, you can say.
But there are two ways I look at the bucket list. One, where we are not visited, where we need a visitor, but we just want to still go again and again.
Okay.
So
Yes.
of this,
Agree.
first is that Antarctica still stands top
Yes.
in my list
Absolutely.
where I want to go, and yeah, that is the one place, and probably sooner the better, as we are on the other side of the age. So,
Right.
and if somebody compels me to revisit a place, I generally try to avoid. But then I still have in my mind that me and my wife should visit once again to that wooden log cabin in the wildlife sanctuary of Mudumalai.
Okay.
We were there doing a honeymoon, and we didn't get a room that particular for the second day. It was overbooked. So that memory still lingers, and still I want to go and stay still little more and longer. So likewise, there are no
Amazing.
end to the wish and dreams and then longings and the bucket lists. But then yes,
Yes.
we try to
Yes.
maximize
Yes.
our
Yes.
travel passion. Yeah.
So for a traveler and explorer like you, believe bucket list, the meaning of bucket list gets diluted because you have so many places to visit, so many places to live and relive, I believe. But like it was a wonderful, wonderful conversation with you, Dr. Hiren. And still, as I told, one session is not enough for to even understand. We could not even scratch the surface. But yes, we'll have another session with you
Sure,
very
sure.
soon. And thank you so much for joining and sharing your thoughts and benefiting so many of our listeners. Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Hiren.
you, Dr.
Thank you so
Manish.
much.
And I just enjoyed this session so much. So I feel like, again, reliving those moments of my wonderful travels of all these many years. And of course, we'll love to again have this kind of interaction in future. So thank you very much. And I just
Thank you so
say
much
thank
for
you to all
taking out
listeners
time.
also.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.